do you do when you get paid? What is your payday routine like? Can you account for every penny that you make from your job? Let me know in the comment section if you have a payday routine. And if you don't have any routine, I would still like to hear from you in the comment section below. So many people get paid and within a few days, they have no clue where all the money is gone and they are not able to account for any of it. Sadly, this doesn't apply to people earning minimum wage only, as research has shown that a lot of people earn six-figure salary. We're talking about $100,000 and above, guys, still live paycheck to paycheck. For the past few years, I've had a payday routine, or what I call a system, that like clockwork, I go through the same steps every pay cycle. This system has helped me get out of debt. I pay myself first. I don't miss my vacations. My investment accounts are doing great. And most importantly, I spend money without feeling guilty, all because I follow these routines diligently. I know we all have morning routines, bedtime routines, school routines, and a bunch of others. So if we can have these many routines, you should also consider having a payday routine. And that is what today's video is about. Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Ayoluwa, a chartered accountant and a certified financial education instructor. I upload new videos here on YouTube every Sunday on personal finance, and I'm sure you will like it on this side of YouTube, as there is a lot to learn and unlearn. Please click the subscribe button below and let's have a good time. We don't often hear of the last step in this routine, but if you miss it, you'll feel frustrated. So make sure you watch to the end to find out what this is about. For each of these steps, I will tell you the time estimate it will take for you to perform each of the tasks. The first thing I do is to create a saving and spending plan. My payday routine begins a day or two before I get paid. In my case, I get paid twice a month, 1st and 15th of every month. The first step, which happens on 30th or 31st of the previous month and on the 14th of the month, is to create a saving and spending plan for the paycheck I am expecting in the next day. I know some people get paid once a month, and if you fall in that category, you only need to do this once. Since I already know the exact amount that hits my checking account every pay period, I want to be prepared and know what goes where once the money gets in my account. Whatever amount I expect to hit my account, I split this into various buckets and sort of create a plan on how I want to spend this income. And I split it into various expense lines, savings or investments. This is the stage where I give every dollar work to do. While this may seem like a basic step, I can tell you for a fact that most people that complain their money is not enough or that they don't know where all their paycheck goes to are in that situation because they never had a plan for their paycheck in the first place. If you have no plan, then you will end up spending your money on any and everything with nothing to show for it. Imagine I got paid today and a dear friend calls to say there is a party tonight. There is a high chance of me spending my salary partying if I never had a plan for the money in the first place. On the flip side, if my plan was boldly written out with every dollar going to something, I will be more inclined to decline the invitation as it doesn't fit into my plan, or I would attend the party and only spend what I have allocated to fun without feeling guilty. This spending and savings plan is what people refer to as a budget. And on the average, this step takes me less than 30 minutes every pay cycle. The next step in my routine is to pay my future self through my workplace retirement account. Have you ever heard of the sandwich generation? Maybe, maybe not. It is the generation where you're somewhere between taking care of parents and children, like in the middle. I belong to that generation, and I know a lot of my viewers belong to that generation as well. While I am not complaining about taking care of my parents, I feel like I owe it to my unborn children not to burden them with the financial responsibility of taking care of me in my old age. And that is why this step of my payday routine is non-negotiable, guys. Like since I started working, I try not to miss contributing to the RRSP, with the equivalent being 401k in the US. The good thing about this step is that it is so simple, like it's a no-brainer, and my employer takes out the RRSP contribution from my pay before the next pay gets to me. Since my contribution is taken out before my pay gets to me, I have no choice but to plan all my other expenses around what I get. And I don't have any excuse not to contribute to the RRSP. If you already have your retirement contribution set up, this step doesn't require any more time or effort from you every pay cycle. If you don't have this set up yet, please take 5 minutes of your time to call your HR representative or whoever is in charge of your pay in your company to have this set up for you. I promise it will take less than 5 minutes of your time. The harsh reality is that the government or your children won't take care of you like you would take care of yourself. So it's best you pay yourself first by investing towards your retirement or investing towards for your future self. No one is coming to save you, so you have to do this for your future self. The next step of my payday routine is to tithe. I know this is not applicable to everyone depending on your religious beliefs, but I am a Christian, and since I am sharing my payday routine, it's important that I include this step for you guys to see. 10% of my net pay goes to Titan, and I simply do an e-transfer for this. It takes me less than 2 minutes, like to move money from my checking account to my church account or whatever organization you decide to tithe with. It's quite simple and straightforward. Once tithe has been paid, the next thing I do is to address my needs, which are my non-negotiable bills. I mean, this must be paid. Guys, there's a big difference, a really big difference between your needs and wants. You need to eat and get groceries. You don't have to dine at a fancy restaurant every night. You need a purse. You don't have to get the latest $5,000 designer bag. You need a good phone. You don't have to change your iPhone every year Apple releases a new phone. Knowing the clear difference between your needs and wants will save you some good money and prevent you from playing catch up or defense with your money. I pay for my needs, which includes my rent, utilities, gas for my car, groceries, insurance, and all the rest using my credit card. Some of these bills are set up as auto debits or auto pay, which ensures I do not miss any bill payments. Since these bills are paid via credit card, this step of my routine involves me paying off my credit card balance in full, guys, in full from my checking account. I pay in full and not just the minimum payment. I listed all the reasons I use a credit card in this video on my channel, and you can consider using credit cards for your recurring bills as well. However, if you struggle with credit card debt or you're not disciplined when it comes to using a credit card, by all means stick to using your debit card and set up automatic bill payments from your checking account. This entire process of paying off my credit card and setting aside money for my needs take about 10 minutes of my time. The next step is to transfer to my emergency funds account. If you lose your job today, how many months can you survive without your regular paycheck? Or if your house gets flooded right now, do you have a cash pile that can help you perform the required repairs and maintenance? Whatever your answer is to this question will determine if you need to transfer some money from your checking account to a separate savings account, preferably a high interest account for your emergency funds. Life happens, guys, and we want to be prepared for whenever something goes wrong. And that is the reason for setting some money aside from every paycheck towards emergencies until your emergency fund is fully funded. The way I determined how much I need to save is quite simple. In a typical month, how much do I need to cover all my living expenses and basic needs? If, for example, I determine that I need $1,000 per month to have a fully funded emergency fund, I will need $6,000, which is 6 times my monthly living expenses. This number looks different for everyone, so you need to calculate what this number is for yourself. If I also review my personal circumstances and I know I can save this over a year based on how much I earn, I will divide $6,000 by 24 pay periods. It means I need to transfer $250 from my checking account every pay period till I have $6,000 saved up. I'll stop saving in this account once it is fully funded and I can use the $250 for something else since I have achieved my goal. The first time you calculate how much you need to have as emergency funds, it might take about 10 minutes to think through this calculation, but subsequently it will take less than 5 minutes to transfer funds from your checking account to your high interest savings account. So time allotted for this action is 5 minutes. The next step in my routine is to allocate at least 10% of my net pay towards investment. I say at least since 10% is a rule of thumb, but you can go above and beyond that if your income is sufficient. We all know that to escape this rat race and truly build wealth, you cannot but invest. I start my investments from my tax advantaged accounts, such as the TFSA or Roth IRA. And once that is maxed out, I move on to other accounts, such as the taxable brokerage accounts. TFSA limit is $7,000 for the year 2024, and that works out to about $584 every month or $292 every paycheck in my case. I have my TFSA with Wealth Simple and I link these accounts to my checking accounts such that on specific preset days, money is automatically transferred to the account and I buy ETF with funds transferred. With this method, I don't miss the step and it doesn't require additional efforts from me. Please do not make the common mistake of having cash in your TFSA or Roth IRA and forgetting to invest it by buying an asset. Your money will not make more money for you until you buy stocks, ETFs, or any other assets with the funds in your TFSA. The only action that requires time is linking your TFSA to your checking account and setting up the auto debit and purchase. Once that is done, no further actions are required from you. I will allocate a one-time 20 minutes time investment for this step. If you have any form of debt, be it student loan or any other type of consumer debt, paying off a part of that debt every pay period or every payday will be the next step in your payday routine. Prior to me becoming debt free, I always ensured I paid more than the minimum expected payment every month. Of course, if you're debt free, you can skip the step. For anyone still on the debt payoff journey, and one of your goals is to actually become debt free soon enough, please endeavor not to miss your monthly repayments. The fear of paying interest for the rest of your life is the beginning of wisdom. If you manage to get through the first 7 steps of this routine and you still have some cash left over, you should channel some of that leftover towards your sinking funds. You know that trip that you have been planning with the girls in the group chat, or that car you want to buy, or better still, the property taxes you know will become due for payment in the next couple of months. It's time to save up for those projects. This strategy has been my secret weapon for never missing vacation time with my family for the past few years. I create savings goal for each big project at the beginning of the year, and I make sure to save towards the goal every month. Since these projects or expenses are things you expect, you have time to save towards that without feeling overwhelmed. The second to last step in my payday routine is to set aside and actually give to someone in need without expecting anything in return. I know life can get really tough and we are all trying to get by, but there is this sense of fulfillment that I have whenever I give to others. It might be a hot meal for the homeless in your community or any other selfless service that interests you. It doesn't have to be anything grand. I mean, start with what you can afford and it will become a part of your routine in no time. The last step is for you to splurge on yourself and have fun. This last step is one that you cannot afford to miss. Please have fun and splurge on yourself. You have worked hard and you need to reward yourself. Personally, I like to go to a fancy dinner once a month and to make myself feel good. For you, it might be hanging out with friends or going to watch a game or anything. Whatever rocks your boat, please put aside some money for enjoyment so you don't feel like it's all work and no enjoyment. That's called deprivation, and I don't want that for you. While I have this routine every time I get paid, I also take out time outside of this routine to reassess my finances. Is my savings and investments increasing? Like, am I making progress on my debt payoff journey? If I were to be on a journey, am I able to spend without feeling guilty? This will keep everything in perspective and ensure you're making progress with your finances. Check out these videos on the screen right now if you like some more useful nuggets regarding your finances. Please share this video with a friend if you have gotten any value whatsoever from it. See you in the next one and cheers to a life of options. Bye.